This, is my slide visible?
Yes, sir. It's visible, sir.
So this project is about establishment of micro skill development centers in Agra. So to start with the problem statement, like under the smart city, the Tajganj area, that is the 2,500 acres area around the Taj Mahal, that is our that we have selected for the area-based development. So when we did a survey in that ABD area, what we came to know is that the ratio of working and the non-working population, it's 2 to 68% and 32%. And among the working and non-working population, the working women is very less, 13%, and the non-working woman is around 87%. And now this ABD area, since it is situated around the Taj Mahal, the industries are not allowed over there. And it has a lot of unexplored cultural heritage and handicrafts also. And there are a lot of artisans also situated in this particular area. And a lot of traditional skill sets of the Agra city situated in this particular area. And because that industrial expansion is not allowed, there is limited employment and income generating opportunities also. So that is when the thought came, the traditional skill sets of the Agra city, how we can actually impart it and how we can do a sense of women empowerment, and then help in the more economic generation, and by which helping the households in that particular area. So what we did was that we identified some few non-operational community centers in this Tajganj area, basically 4 numbers of community centers, and we converted them into micro-scale development centers. So first the renovation, the repairing was done, and all those training facilities, the furnitures and everything was equipped and all those things. Then what we did was that we collected what are the details. We identified the traditional skill sets that is available in those particular area, and like that we identified 7 basic skill sets, that is the brush making, the carpet making, decorative handicraft, flower work, marble inlay, zardoshi, etc., where already the artisans are situated, and we mapped each of these skill set into each of these areas. Then what we did was that we formed 104 women self-help groups in these area, where each self-help group would consist of 12 to 13 women, so by which around more than 1350 to 1400 women are actually mapped to various women self-help groups. Then as a first step, what we did was that we conducted entrepreneurship development training programs to each of these women self-help groups. And then we also tied up with Dell RM, which is an NGO instituted by Dell Computers, in order to give the computer literacy to all these women of the self-help groups also, basically opening a bank account, operating a computer, then digital payments, operating of UPIs, etc., and all those things. Then after, as a first step of doing this entrepreneurship development program, we brought in master trainers, and we give training and we enhance their skill sets in all these traditional skills. For example, in terms of Zardoshi, we help them to create the market oriented design. For example, at the time of Christmas, those designs which was oriented, which will have appeal in that particular time. At the time of Diwali, those designs which will have appeal at that time. Similarly for the marble inlays, etc., and all. And this training were given on each of these 7 skill sets to all of those women self-help groups. Then after this training was given, we help them to establish small business enterprises. Like each women self-help groups will own a business enterprise, and each women self-help group will be creating one or two basic product out of the skill sets. And we tied up with Amazon and the Flipkart also, with the various e-commerce websites also, by which they could actually sell their products also. Now, these are some of the interventions, as I explained, like the establishment of micro skill development centers to forming of the community groups. And now, initially, to brought in the community buy-in, we employed in the local parsheds, we employed in the local community leaders also, by which women could actually come out and take part in these training sessions. And not only this skill-based training, we gave them training programs on menstrual hygiene, in terms of processing of solid waste management, the basic hygiene facilities, etc., and all those things. And if you can see on the right hand side of the screen, these are in the Amazon and in the Flipkart also, where their products are actually listed. And under the under the PM, the street vendor scheme also, we have been helping them to actually highlight their products in the various shows and in the various other mediums also, by which their products can be sold. And almost we have started receiving even international orders also of their products, which earlier was not possible, and especially in the current times in which the international tourists are not coming to Agra. So this was basically the solution, how we try to attempt this thing, like in terms of giving of the training, the market analysis, and in terms of product development, and also assistance to SHGs. And as I told earlier, this is how we actually mapped the entire ABD area. So the SHG groups were focused on these particular skill sets. Like for example, those areas where already the brush making activities are going on, then that we focus the SHGs who will be made upon that. And the skill enhancement was basically done on those particular areas. And these are some of the snippets, and these are some of the photographs of that microskill development centers also. So currently 4 numbers of such microskill development centers are running in the ABD area. Now, these are the various trade fairs and all, how we have put up the stalls, and by which their product sale can be increased. And we met the resident stakeholder. Now, once this asset is created for undertaking the O&M of these microskill development centers, we have met the resident stakeholders, and we have formed those committees who will be taking care of the O&M along with these women self-help groups also. And these are the various entrepreneurship development programs that we have been done. These are some of the photographs of that and this thing. And this is one of the key impact, the result of those projects. Like we have established 4 microskill development centers with various IT solution, and 274 SHG members have been linked with Dell RM initiative also. An entrepreneurship training program is given to 1,213 women. And around 120 SHGs already have the bank account, and more than 4 lakh worth of products have been sold online also. So if you see, the direct beneficiaries is around 1,350, and family members is around 6,970 are the indirect beneficiaries also. And in terms of the replicability and scalability of this project, now we have started it in the ABD area. Now we are planning to replicate in the Kachpura and the other areas of the Agra also. Then we have already made the area level federation, and already a micro skill development app is also in the Play Store, by which citizens and the tourists can actually log in and buy the products sitting at their home also. So that backend logistic framework, we have already tied up with eCard Logistics also for couriering those products also. So in terms of the sustainability, we have already signed MOUs with Amazon, Flipkart, and the Paytm also. And almost roughly around 10% increase in monthly income of 1,350 households. That is our preliminary surveys have shown. And in terms of the in terms of the product sold, a portion is kept as an FD, which will act as a base capital in order to scale up the activities also. And in the YouTube, in this link, you can see the beneficiary feedback also, where women are expressing their content and satisfaction on various things like that. And this is the snapshots of the various microskill development center that we have created also.
Jury members.
Yeah, I think this is interesting in the sense you are generating actually income for SHG groups, and so as you said, training them is fine. They are making it fine, but are you also providing them with the seed money for them to prepare these handicraft items and then sell them? Marketing, you are helping the linkages there. That's also a good initiative. But what about the seed money for them to start producing?
Yeah, so initially, ma'am, what we have done is that initially for certain SHGs with based upon our smart city budget, around 8.5 lakh rupees we have distributed among around 42 SHGs, if I'm right. So 42 SHGs for the initial seed money, and the other SHGs, they were other SHGs we had taken it from those families where already they were engaged in these skill sets. So out of the 104 SHGs, 42 SHGs, we had given them the initial, we cannot call it exactly seed money, but some initial funding we had given by which they can purchase certain machinery, especially for the marble inlay, brush making, and all those things like that. And we had also set up, what we did was that Bank of Baroda is a lead banker, is a district level banker in Agra. So with Bank of Baroda, where what we have done was that this Agra Smart City act as a guarantor, and to certain SHGs, they can take a loan.
Okay, fine. So that means you have looked into that aspect also. Good, very good.
Yeah, it's a good project. I think this is having good outcomes. The point is you have to work out how to work out its sustainability over a long-term period.
Yes, yes. One of the two steps that we have done, sir, the initial products which are being sold, like some of the margins that we are keeping it as an FD in the bank, to which will act as a base capital for each SHGs also. That is one aspect that we are doing. And then other sustainability aspects we are thinking of, like in terms of that enterprise and all those things, bringing in some funding. There are certain socially responsible venture funds also. We are in talks with them, but that is in the very initial stages. So that we are planning to do.
Okay, good. We can move over to the next one.
Yeah. Okay.